My name is Tom Everett. I graduated from Cultural Mediations in 2014, and I am the Curator of Communications at the Canada Science and Technology Museum in Ottawa.
My name is Annette Stecher. I now live in Denver, Colorado, and I'm an assistant professor at the University of Colorado Boulder in the Department of Art and Art History. I completed my degree at Carleton in 2013. I was interested in the art of a particular community, the Wendat of Wendake, Quebec. I was interested in their historical artwork coming into the contemporary period, and working with Ruth Phillips here and all the resources that are available in Ottawa made this just a really rich research project.
So when I first started the program, my intention was to do a doctoral project on mobile listening practices. And as I got into it, I realized that the main story and what I really wanted to talk about was headphones and headphone listening. So I started doing a little bit of research to try and figure out when headphone listening sort of began. And my entire project ended up being a social and material history of headphone listening going back to the early 20th century. I first became interested in the program because I really wanted to work with Paul Théberge. I'd become aware of Paul's work while doing my master's research, and he was the perfect fit for the research project I wanted to pursue. It's funny that once I got here, that worked really, really well, but there was all these other values of the program that I hadn't really thought about before, and a lot of this came out of its interdisciplinarity. Cultural mediations wasn't one of these sort of fake interdisciplinary schools. It's right at the core of its being.
The Cultural Mediations Department offered me the interdisciplinarity that I was looking for. I not only worked with Ruth and other professors in our department in Cultural Mediations, but if there was something, for example, women's history, archaeology, linguistics, literature that I really needed some help with, or some ideas about how to approach methods or sources, working in a program like Cultural Mediations gave me the scope and the opportunity to work in all those areas.
Interdisciplinarity is one of those terms that you hear a lot about these days, and I think this is one of the few true interdisciplinary programs, in the sense that I was always encouraged to move outside of disciplines. I ended up TAing in the music department, teaching in the communications department. I was in a digital humanities lab doing history projects and making locative media games on top of doing my research with Paul. It's something that I wasn't really expecting when I got in, and I was really grateful for by the time I finished.
Interdisciplinarity is really the real foundation of cultural mediations, and the work that I was doing is at its absolute base. It is interdisciplinary. Carleton is perfectly located for my research. In Ottawa, there are the institutions, first of all. I did an internship at the National Gallery, and I also did one at the Canadian Museum of History in Gatineau. And with those two opportunities, I worked with amazing curators who gave me all kinds of support and expert teaching. From there, I went on to my own research project, and I was working with the collection. So it was this incredible opportunity to go to work every day and then be able to go to look at the collections that you're doing your research on, which is a pretty rare opportunity.
It's funny that I actually ended up getting hired as a curator here at the museum because I actually did a lot of research at the museum when I was a student. That not only contributed to a better thesis, it also contributed to me having a lot of good things to say during an interview. So it was really important that the museum and the university were located in the same city. It just worked out perfectly. And really, I wouldn't be doing the things I'm doing today had it not been for the program.
This is the seminar room for the Cultural Mediations. I spent many, many hours here with my classmates and colleagues, just sometimes overwhelmed by the material we were covering, but always challenged and stimulated.
I remember first walking through the doors into this seminar room and feeling sort of overwhelmed and very excited to be here. I mean, we did all of our coursework here, but there's other things too. I mean, this is where I defended my dissertation proposal. This is where we would have our wine and cheese parties and our mingling events.
Being in this classroom reminds me clearly of one of my greatest memories of being in the Cultural Mediations department, and that is the atmosphere of collegiality and support that's encouraged. When I was here, my classmates, we worked together on our projects, we worked together on our readings, we supported each other in class, we worked through difficult material to sort of further what we were learning and come to the ends of our essays, do our research. It was altogether taught me a lot about the importance of collaboration.
My last memory in here was when we were finishing our book project, and our deadline was 9 a.m. Monday morning, and 3 of us had to stay up all night working just to get it in under the 9 o'clock deadline. So yeah, we've made a lot of memories here. Feels nice to be back.
It was an incredible experience. I was very lucky.